audience out there. I am Nancy Silberkleit, co-CEO of Archie Comics, and I am here with one of our longtime artists, Fernando Ruiz, in his studio.
Yes.
So thank you for having me.
Oh, sure.
So Fernando, I am here on a mission, and it's all about inspiration. There is one specific digest, I won't show the cover yet, but I have been traveling around the globe utilizing the graphic literacy platform to talk about environmental issues. That is, a very important topic globally. So there's a wonderful story in here by Batten Lash. You know Batten?
Sure.
Well, it has been really the cover that has given me the platform to open the conversation on Batten's wonderful story, Getting Drastic with Plastic. So I want to know, what was the inspiration behind this cover? For the audience, this is Archie and Friends Double Digest, Library 31. Now, when was this done?
Oh, it's got to be about 5 years or so.
Yeah, I would say it's about 5 years. So and even we can tell from the price, $3.99, that has changed. So when that story was given to me and it was put in the digest, I never gave any thought to the cover because I always pick out art books by the cover, and they are usually so frilly and beautiful and colorful, and even sometimes with so much detail, and this had mechanics in it. But when I saw Digest 31, I grabbed my pearls and went, oh! So it gave a sense of like, ooch, what is Archie doing with a football in his mouth? But I leaned back and I looked at it, and I started really taking in the whole part, and I was absolutely thrilled because I had the green, and let's get to that story, Getting Drastic with Plastic. I want to ask about the inspiration. Were you aware of this environmental story? How do you approach projects, because you're doing the work before it even goes on the digest. So let's back up a little bit. How does the project come to you when you are told, or are you told it's going to be used for a digest?
Yes, I'm always told it's going to be for a digest. I know what book the cover is going to go on. I don't know what the stories are going to be inside most of the time, unless the cover really relates to a story inside. But most of the time.
How many times do the covers relate to the stories?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes if they have an important story inside, they might have a cover that will be part of that story. But a lot of times they don't. A lot of times the covers are just standalone gags.
And who contacts you? How does it come in email, on telephone? What happens?
Well, it could come in many ways. Because I would go into the Archie offices in person, most of the time it was done face to face. So I would sit with the editors, and they would give me, sometimes they would give me sketches, that were done by a writer or another artist even, and they would pick one of the sketches and tell me that was going to be the cover, and then ask me to draw it.
And would the story come with it, the full story?
No.
Okay, so it was just...
unless it was one of those cases, like I mentioned before, where the cover was going to relate to the story, which wasn't too often. But most of the time, I just got a sketch.
And what was the lead time when you were given a project? How much time do you have? Because you're always having the pencil to the paper for, other publishers, not just Archie.
Yeah. Well, at Archie, we normally worked well in advance. We usually had a good 6 months.
6 months, that's a very long time.
Yeah.
And I'd like to mention, when I say you work for other publishers, you are publishing, you may tell the audience, your title.
I published my own comic book, Die Kitty Die, with Dan Parent. We do it together, another Archie artist.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, so now you're saying possibly you were given this project 6 months ahead of time. Do you remember the stories that you were given for this? Because the Getting Drastic with Plastic happens to be the last story. So the lead story here, happens to be the change of plans. I don't know, do you remember receiving this story?
No. I didn't get any of the interior stories. I probably just received the cover sketch, and that was it.
Okay. So going back to when I saw this cover and I went, it was not frilly. It was not, what was going on. If you're playing football, how do you get a football in your mouth? So then as I said, I dived deeper into the cover, and with the green, I loved that there was a lot of green back there. Did you do the coloring?
No, I didn't do the coloring.
Okay. So you were just doing the penciling. And then I saw the wonderful words earth. And then it all came together. So that is why I am here today, because it's all about marketing. When we, create these digests, we want people to pick them up. This is another powerful digest, and you did this one also.
Yeah.
I love how, Archie has his hands, and then that robot mechanic, has kind of the same pose.
That was one where the cover related to the story.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Remember
I remember that because the robot was fun to draw.
Okay, and where's that story
It should be the first one.
position? The junk man cometh.
Yeah.
So, and then something came alive and clang. Cool, very cool. So that is a good example where the cover will relate to the stories. So when, I saw this, again, what struck me, it wasn't what I am usually comforted with. And, I'll see Veronica's closet with clothes that will inspire me or just something. But this was kind of like, ugh.
A little awkward.
A little awkward. And it wasn't that, beautiful look. But then I realized that the issue I'm speaking about is not a pretty issue. It's about environment. It's about thinking about our responsibility in our usage of plastic and, how we conduct our carbon footprint. We have been, very loose and, not thinking about it, excessive use of water, excessive use of electricity. So, we all have to be individually responsible. So it's not really, a pretty picture. So I thought this was brilliant because it got one to stop. Again, we go back to marketing, and it really makes one stop and look at this cover and say, gosh, what's Archie doing with a football in his mouth? So I wanted to come to find out, how did you come up with the word earth? Because when I saw earth, it immediately made me think about where I had just come from, and that's what sparked Getting Drastic with Plastic. Environment, Rwanda. That is where I had come from. I had found the country Rwanda decided to get rid of plastic bags. A little country took on such a huge mission, and they successfully did it, where they are a model for the globe. So it was Environment, Rwanda Future. And it was no longer Earth for me, and that's what I said, wow. There is a photo shoot of me in Dubai where I am holding, not the book, because the book had not, it first came to me in a, just a little snapshot of the cover. And I blew that up because I didn't have the story yet. And I wanted to take that message and let people know about Getting Drastic with Plastic in Archie and Friends Double Digest Library 31. So can you tell me a little bit more about maybe, this cover, it's bringing back 5 years of memory? I don't know.
Well, it's funny you point out the earth, because the earth was a late addition to the cover. It wasn't there in the original sketch.
Wow. So you're saying you submitted it, was the football in the mouth?
Yeah, the football was there right from the beginning. I don't remember if there were any other changes, but I do remember one of the editors suggested adding the Earth to the football, which I guess was a play on Nerf. I don't know if you remember the Nerf footballs.
Yes.
So Earth, which...
And which editor was that? We have Victor Gorelick and Mike Pellerito. So which editor was it?
It was Mike Pellerito who did it.
Wow. So Mike, thank you so much. You know, it's possible, I'm sorry Mike's not here with us, that maybe Mike was thinking about getting drastic with plastic, and he knew I had gone to Rwanda, and he knew that I had been inspired. So I don't know, was that a secret message? Because I think I have heard that, you know, you people will sometimes put in little secret messages. So
That's
I
true.
wonder if our editor had that message there for us.
I don't know.
So have you put in any little squiggles or something that were personal to you that we didn't know about?
Oh, I'm famous for putting my initials in the trees all over Riverdale.
You are?
Yes.
Wow. I think, let's see, here, no, it's down on the ground, but now that is something for everyone to look for and maybe be a collector of Fernando's covers. So are they in the covers or in the stories?
In the stories. I usually didn't do it on the covers. 'Cause
Okay.
I tried to be subtle about it.
All right, so now we're all going to have to look for seeing your names in the trees because, you know, sadly, that was an issue way back where they did not give credit, not that it was intentional. They were just creating art, creating stories, and, you know, neglected to give honor to those wonderful stories and to the people who created the wonderful artwork. So that's brilliant, and I approve that. So I'm going to have to look for that. And I just want to thank you so much for giving a cover where it was a bit different, and I think it made people look. And hopefully, when they looked, they opened it, and they did get to Baton Lash's wonderful story on getting drastic with plastic. And again, it was the country of Rwanda who stepped up to the plate to, you know, throw that football across oceans, across, you know, countries, to give them the inspiration for our future to do better, especially with our overuse of plastic. We have to be, you know, conserving more and also recycling. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
And